If my breath stink, you can tell me that. If I made you mad, tell me that. Women, with the camera right there. We are not mind readers. You gotta talk. Open your mouth and talk.
I tell you lies and it's just so toxic. You lie, I lie too. Girl, I don't love you. You know it's lies when I say it's just you. But don't be mad, boo. I once believed too.
First, let me make this clear. It's DNS Soldier, man.
This is Robby Too Fast, and welcome to the Two Sides of the Heart podcast. Today, we have a Baltimore, Maryland native, a business-to-business generalist, college-educated, parent of 2 boys and 3 girls, the youngest of 5 children, a member of Transformation Church in Baltimore, and he's been married for 4 years. Please welcome Robert Thompson Jr. How you doing, kind sir?
I'm fine, sir. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How was your day today?
Can't complain. I woke up this morning and I'm in good health. And y'all didn't call me from jail, maybe.
Being a father of 5, can you recall the feeling you had when each of your children were born?
Yes. When you were born, I was terrified.
Why?
I was the world's greatest uncle. I had no idea how to be a father. I mean, when your grandmother, when she talked to me about after you was born, she was like, this is a helpless child. He can't do anything for himself. If you lay him down in the street and walk away, all he can do is cry. You have to be there to nurture him, protect him, feed him. Everything is on you. And that was terrifying. Plus, I remember when I was dressing you to bring you home from the hospital, it took me 20 minutes because I didn't want to break you, so I was being all gentle and everything. But yeah, terrified. It's a new experience. That was you with Olivia. I knew a little bit what I was doing, but I quickly found out that you tricked me because you didn't cry at all. Here's a reenactment where you were born. Okay. And then you was a chill baby, but she made up for all the crying that you didn't do. I mean, we brought her home from the hospital and she would not stop crying. So I put her in a little snowsuit, and she was born in February, and I walked her outside, and she went to sleep. Brought her in the house, put her in a little bassinet, she started crying. Quickly found out, whereas you're good with heat, she's not. She couldn't do too much heat. So having to deal with 2 children was, okay, this is a little frustrating, but it's cool, you know. And then your sister after her, Layla, oh my gosh. She didn't have a name for like 4 hours after she was born. You know that story?
No.
Okay. Your mother and I couldn't figure out what to name her. So we gave her the middle name. The middle name was easy, but we couldn't agree on the first name. Your Aunt Keisha's actually the one who named her Layla.
Shout out to Keisha.
Shout out. There's a whole other story, but I'm not gonna get into it. But a friend of mine named Karen Zarnowski, who tried to get me killed in the hospital. Matter of fact, I might as well explain it. So she called the hospital and jokingly told the nurses that she was my girlfriend. This was my co-worker at work. And the nurses called me out to the station and about 6 of them was about to jump me. And I said, what did you say her name was? Karen. Oh, that's my co-worker from work. And I called her on speakerphone and she bust out laughing. She said, I thought that would be funny. I said, that's not funny. You're about to get me killed at the nurses station. And then when Reese came along, again, it was, terrifying because the family is growing, all the pressure of wanting to be a good father. And I'm quite sure y'all got some questions later on about this, but my whole goal was to try to be a better father than my father was to me. And in certain ways, I think I succeeded, but in certain ways, I think I failed. No, I know I failed. So as an older man with older children who are in their 20s now, 4 out of 5, my job now is to pivot to try to be the older father to younger adults that I wish that he was. And again, that's a whole nother conversation for another day as to why he wasn't able to live up to that way that he wanted to. But I'm trying to live up to it. I fail some days, I succeed some days, but I keep trying. You gotta keep trying.
Those stuff.
Yeah. And then Darius was my surprise baby. He was my, oh my God, came from the hospital. I said, who is this? That's your son. He wasn't here this morning. You got to take him back where he came from. I got 4 kids and we good. No, but you know, everything, he gets the benefit of everything that I missed out on with you all, or I didn't get a chance to do with you all. I now get to capitalize on it with him and try to make up on it with him. So he's like the makeup baby.
How does that feel to be able to do those things with him? Like, you know, one, not being able to do that with us, but then also being able to do that with him. Like, what is that feeling? Or is there any mixed emotions?
Definitely, every single time. It's bittersweet. I mean, it has to be a balance of, I can't do too much that I spoil him and I alienate you all and make you all feel like, well, why couldn't you do that with us? But then I have to realize that he's a totally different child than what you all were. Even you, matter of fact, I compared him to you one time when he was about 3 years old actually. I compared him to you, and this is when I realized that he was not you. Remember when you was little and I taught you the concept of trade? You had something that I didn't want you to have. And so I said, I found a toy, and I said, trade. You give me this, I'll give you that. And you did. And then you later on used the concept of trade with me in Toys R Us. I was walking through Toys R Us. I said, you can have any toy that you want. You picked up a toy, you didn't want to put it in the cart, you was carrying it around the store. So I said, you want to put it in the cart? No. Go around a couple hours, you found a toy that you wanted better than that toy. So you gave me that toy, and you picked up the toy off the shelf that you wanted more. I'll end up buying both, but you didn't want the toy because you said for you that was trade. I'm going to give you this because I really want this. Fast forward years, he's standing in the kitchen. He has something I don't want him to have. So I pick up something that is acceptable. And I say trade, and I try to show it to him. He looked at me like, I want what I have. I don't want what you give me. I get frustrated and say to him, by this point, your brother had learned this lesson. He, without saying a word, opened up the bottom of the cabinet, chucked whatever it was in there, slammed the cabinet, and walked out. I wanted to kill him. I wanted to kill him. But he's a different child than what you are, and then what your sisters are.
How old is too old to physically discipline your kids?
Depends on the child.
What you mean?
I would say about, it depends on the child, it depends on the situation. Some children, like I saw a video of a 16-year-old boy had on a mask and was trying to step up to his mother. He clearly needed to get hands laid on him and knocked him out. But if a child understands, and you all learned this lesson from me, I am both your father and I'm dad. Depending on the situation, it's depending on how I want to respond. Do you want father's more authoritative? I'm coming in all the thunder and lightning that my role dictates. Even as you as an adult, you think about it. The conversation we had a couple years ago when I had to talk to you as your father, and you responded as, okay, that's my father. When I'm dad, I'm chill. So if a child can learn through words and learn to take correction through dialogue, then no, there's no corporal punishment needed. But if a child's got out of the pocket, then you need to put them back in the pocket.
For sure.
Did you discipline your kids often? If so, why would you? If you explain to somebody why did you or did you not?
I didn't. I disciplined you more. I disciplined you early, so you understood not to challenge me, and then your mother picked up that mantle. So you know that was more of her thing. I couldn't beat your sisters. I couldn't. I actually spanked Livy one time, It was doing a potty training thing, and it hurt me so bad that I did that. I didn't spank her or your other two sisters ever because it hurt me too bad. Because those are my babies, those are my girls, you know. And then my voice carried the weight that they didn't do certain things. And then it's co-parenting is a tag team thing. Your mother was the disciplinarian of the girls. I was the disciplinarian of you. But I never had to put my hands on you because we had an understanding. I disciplined you as a young child, so you understood that if I raised my voice or if I was displeased, you would respond a different way. I didn't have to put my hands on you. And so corporal punishment, again, is depending on the child. It's not just a default setting. Now, your brother, your brother, on the other hand, let's just say, Lord have all the mercy. Lord have all mercy with that child.
How was it living separate from me and my sisters?
I hated it. I was boyfriend, semi-stepfather to different girlfriends, kids. I resented every child because it wasn't y'all. I never wanted to be around any of them because every minute or every hour I'm thinking in the back of my head, I wish I was with my own children. I wish I didn't live 100 miles away.
Did you treat those kids any type of way because of that, or that's just something that was in the back of your head?
It was in the back of my head. I was nice to them, I was cordial with them, but at the end of the day, it was like, I would rather be with my own children. Right. Because that's where my heart desire is. That's where my heart was. Always. It was never a moment or a day I didn't think I would rather be on the shore. Mm-hmm. Or I would rather have been doing. Remember when I used to send pizza? Mm-hmm. That was because I was like, I can't be there physically. Right. But at least I'm going to express my love. Right. All the gifts during Christmas and stuff, whatever y'all wanted, is because I was trying to make up for it. Later in life, I did, and this is another thing that your brother has gotten the benefit of. When me and his mother separated and everything, I would get off work, I would go to their apartment, and I would spend an hour and a half a night with him and then go home. Because it's not about the gifts, it's not about the money, it's about the time. If I could just take you to McDonald's and give you a Happy Meal, spend an hour with you, children need their father in their life, period. They need your presence more than your money. They need your presence more than they need to see you, you know, hey, let's go to a baseball game. No. Well, baseball game, yes. But can you help me with my homework? Can you help show them how to ride a bike?
That quality time.
Quality time. Are you going to be there? I missed out on that, and there are there's science behind this. Children develop differently with the father in the home than without.
Yeah, I saw that statistic. It's like kids are more likely to be a certain way. It's like 80% to 20%. Like, I don't have the specific numbers, but there's a big, huge gap when it's just a mom versus when it's both parents are present. Like, the behavior and everything is way.
I'll say this. Look at the way you and your older sister are with having me there. Their younger sisters with me not being there. It's almost like two different sets of kids. Mm-hmm. Same mom, grew up in the same house, but the years difference, the time difference, the mindset is different. The outlook is different. Your sister came and stayed with me for like a month and a half, and I told her, you're going to discover some stuff about yourself that you didn't know just by being with me. She said, well, what are you talking about? I said, you'll discover it, you'll find out. And sure enough, she came back and said, yeah, I didn't understand where I got certain things from or why I liked certain things until I got around you for that long period of time, that isolated period of time. She figured out that she's really good at building stuff because I'm really good at building stuff. She figured out she's really good at certain other activities because I'm really good at those activities. So it's encoded in the DNA. My father, I was in middle school, and I like tasty cake and coffee cakes, you know this. I didn't know why I liked them so much until my mother walked in the kitchen, saw me eat them, and said, "Your father likes those things." Never knew it, but I love them because he loved them. And y'all like them because it's just passive.
They're delicious.
I'm going to the store after we leave.
Something else I know, like when my emotions get heightened, I have this increased vocabulary. It's words that like I don't even mean. Soldiers like, man, where did you even get that word from? I'm like, I don't know. All I know is I'm pissed. These words just start flying out, and then that's something that I know that's like you do. It's like, and that's like, you know, your calm and your vocabulary is. We're just looking at you like, did you just say? I don't have a word right now, but like, did you just say? What did you even? Why are you even saying these things? But that I know that's something that I know that I get from you.
I just introduced your sisters to a new word last night, watching the old movie that we were watching. I started when I was 11, but I said, listen to this word, see what y'all think. Chicanery. It was like, what does that mean? It means legal trickery.
Chicanery.
Yeah, chicanery. That's chicanery.
Like that. Legal trickery.
So, you know, but I love language. I love English. I love words. You know, the more you can express yourself. I'm a skilled tactician of the vernacular. I will cut you up and you won't even know you're bleeding. I love language.
Okay. What age do you feel like it's okay for your son to start dating? If it's different from your daughter, why?
Definitely. For a boy, honestly, I would say 16, 17.
Yeah.
For my daughter, 18, 19. I would say 18, 19, because there's a total difference out there. Men, boys, males, we learn the game from when we're little from our uncles and fathers and grandfathers and friends. But for girls, they're more emotion led. We're more logic and you're lucky we got a female engineer. We're led more by, I won't say passion. What word I want to use? I'm gonna use that word. By our passions and our lust. And so we're driven at that young age to sow your oats, basically. But girls are more delicate. I'm not saying they're stupid, but they're more delicate. And I believe that they need to be nurtured more. And whoever they bring home needs to be vetted by the father, by the older brother, by the uncle, so that we can say, no, he's not good for you, he's running game. And plus, girls need their fathers or a loving adult male in their life to show them the way and to protect them. Because if he's not there and these women are taken advantage of, these girls taken advantage of, I personally take that personal. If my daughter's something happens to them, I blame myself. When they get into a bad relationship, I blame myself because obviously I didn't do my job. Now, of course, they making their own decisions, but why didn't you feel comfortable enough to come to me, to talk to me about, I like this guy?
What if they say that you didn't do enough to make them feel comfortable?
Then I own that. Then I need to do better. Because there's some truth in everything. If my enemy can tell me something horrible about myself, and I know that's my enemy, but there might be a grain of truth in it. So if there's a grain of truth in it, let me sit down and not just dismiss it because that's my enemy. Let me think, could this be true? So if your daughter say, well, you didn't do enough to make me feel comfortable, I'm not going to come back. Well, a good father shouldn't come back and say, yes, I did. Obviously you didn't. Obviously there's a disconnect. So you need to own your responsibility, your portion of that, and take responsibility. Say, you know what? I apologize. Let's reset. Let's figure it out. Especially if it's not too late. Here's too late. I'm pregnant by an idiot. I have HIV. I've picked up something. I'm in jail because an idiot got in my life. But as a father, as a shepherd, my job as your father is to say, that's a wolf right there. and I'm about to crack him over the head. That's not a good look right there. And even if you don't trust me, you should be able to go to your older brother or older brother's friend who's just like a brother and say, hey, what do you think about so and so?
True.
That's what I think.
What if they're scared what if they're scared that that our reaction is going to be bad? So then that's why they don't want to say anything.
Then there's a problem. Because you should always be able to trust those males who are in your life who have your best interests at heart. And the question becomes, why don't you trust them? What did I do? What did we do that you don't trust us to look out for you? Yes, I know your heart's involved and he's so handsome and he's spitting some good game on you. But again, we ran game two.
Just
So come on, bring it in, because at the end of the day, you're going to have to bring them home or bring them, whatever, home eventually. So you might as well get it out the way, because how many relationships have you two been in that you was like, Jesus, if somebody would just told me?
They told me I'm just stupid.
They told me I was just stupid.
Yeah,
I felt that.
I don't listen. That's all.
Yeah, I felt that.
But if you were to listen to your sisters about whoever, where would you be right now?
In the NFL.
You?
Serious.
Honestly, it wasn't really much. Like, when it came to dating, like, my mom didn't really do a proper job of really getting me right and telling me what game it is. So I was just out there getting my heart broke left and right. So, you know, honestly, if I had someone to tell me, you know, I probably did a lot of things out of, like, anger, or, like, I probably hurt another girl's feelings when I really shouldn't have. Like, you know, just because hurt people. But yeah, I'd probably be in a better headspace. Yeah.
What did you learn?
I learned a lot of things, man. I learned I feel like my biggest thing is that I had to learn with dating females is that just because something seems similar doesn't mean it's the same thing.
Facts.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest ones.
Talk about it.
One of the biggest ones I had to learn.
To that, your stepmother's not your mother. I've learned that one the hard way.
I'll leave you on.
But your stepmother is not your mother. I can't joke with her the same way I joked with your mother. I can't talk to her the same way I talked to your mother. But subsequently, your stepmother is not my ex. The one immediately that you know. She's not her. And like you said, I've learned the hard way. Who knows where that's going? If I go there, not go there. But I've learned the hard way. They might look the same. They're not the same.
That's for sure.
That's something that in my last relationship, like anytime we would get in an argument, I would always think it's the end of the relationship. And that's because in my previous relationship before that, anytime we argued, it was the end of the relationship, well, faking in the relationship. And so that's something that I had to, you know, reverse engineer in my mind that this is not that relationship. You know what I mean? Like, I can't keep doing that. And it was hard because, you know, being with somebody for 3 years and then going through that same cycle over and over again, you start to think that. And it's just, but like, just going off what you were saying, like, yeah, no, I can't keep thinking like every single time we argue, like, no, we're just having a disagreement. We're both passionate and standing on our stance. That does not mean that we don't want to be with each other, right? That she doesn't want to be with me. Yeah.
I had to teach your stepmother that. We were going through something a couple of years ago, and on a trip to New Jersey, I said, listen, we're going to set the terms. We're going to set the terms of this argument or disagreement up front. We're going to get comfortable having uncomfortable conversations, and we're going to announce them. This is going to be an uncomfortable conversation. Why are we announcing it? So that you can prepare yourself that it's going to be a little rough. But here's the caveat: no matter what comes up, we're not getting divorced. So it only leaves one option: fix it.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. It's going to get fixed. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be a little rocky.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we're going to get past it.
Yeah.
Once you're mature enough to say that up front, it gets easier.
Yeah.
And then once you know, okay, we're about to have a conversation. Okay, let me prepare my mind. But at the end of the day, I don't want to go nowhere. I don't want you to go nowhere. We determined not to go anywhere.
Right.
So the only thing left is to fix it.
Right. What are the characteristics you would want the man dating your daughter to have?
Don't be me between the ages of, in my younger years, don't be me. Be hardworking.
Well, before you go into that, what do you mean by don't be you?
Oh, can I just be blunt for a minute?
Yeah.
I was a whoremonger. I was a horrible person. I was horrible. A horrible person. What? Go ahead and say it.
And when that shit just comes out, I'll never know. Never know.
Yeah, I was. I looked like him when I was younger.
That's not a flex, bro.
No, but I mean, I had charisma, articulate, intellectual, high IQ. So I'm already outthinking most of the competition and most of the people I'm talking to. But I had deficiency in me because I didn't have my father there. So I was raised by a domineering mother. I didn't have my father there, so I had no balance. And then I had low self-esteem. So whereas people saw me and saw that I was, oh, you are handsome, you're a nice looking guy, I didn't believe that about myself. And I have a high IQ, and so to most people, to get to know me, either they are impressed with my IQ or I'm weird because I'm using language that they can't relate to. So I'm already talking over everybody's head, and I'm already processing on another level. So common sense is not common.
That's for sure.
What's common to me is not common to everybody, but subsequently, what's common to everybody, I'm not processing. So I'm feeling like an outsider. So if someone thought I was cute or handsome or whatever, that was cool for me. So I'm getting my validation through physical means and all that other kind of stuff. But if I would have had my father there to validate me, to bring balance to my life, discipline, structure, and to be the counterbalance to my mother being overbearing, because you know she had a nervous breakdown when she was in her late 30s, early 40s, somewhere around there, and I was the one that was there with her. So I had to deal with all of that, and it was a lot to go through to deal with all of that. So my self-esteem is low. I mean, extremely low. When I was in high school, we moved from the east side of Baltimore to Baltimore County, where I didn't know nobody. So now I'm away from all my friends who knew me. They grew up with me. So they already knew how I was. So, I would be cool with them. Oh, that's just Rob. That's just my nickname. I'm not gonna call him on film. But that's just Rob. That's just how he is. They're comfortable with me. So now I go from East Baltimore to Baltimore County around people that don't know me, and then my self-esteem is low, and then that was my only outlet. I was a horrible person. So don't be me. Have self-confidence. Know who you are.
What about the characteristics you get ready to go into? You said hardworking, and then
hardworking, a go-getter, stable, come from a stable home. There's a lot, actually, but just someone who who knows where they're going, or at least the direction that they want to go, and they're working to go in that direction. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, but if you got like 4 or 5 kids running around, don't bring him home. If he has a child, don't bring him home. Don't bring him home. No, because that's baby mama drama that you don't need. So don't bring dude home. If he's working at McDonald's, no knock on McDonald's. But if you're 25,
not
working at
McDonald's.
if you don't have a career, don't bring him home. If he's not in college, or graduated college, don't bring him home. And going through college brings discipline because you have to go through those classes, you have to learn those things. It brings a certain level of discipline. Going to trade school and getting that certificate shows discipline. If you can go to barber college and get your degree, it shows a level of discipline and foresight that you have a plan that you're working towards. If you're a truck driver, that shows discipline. But if you're working at McDonald's or you had 15 jobs in the last 6 months, come on, don't bring him home to me. Don't do it, because I'm about to slice him up. If he don't have no intellect about himself, no integrity about himself, don't bring him home to me, because I'm going to peep it, and I'm going to say something about it to you. And then every time you tell me you're with him, I'm going to have something to say, and I'm probably going to tell you to break up with him, because no.
Okay, just to piggyback off of what you said, how would you handle your daughter dating a man you disapprove of?
Oh, I'm going to say something. And depending on the daughter, the nature of the relationship, I'm going to address it a different way. Like, your sister, the oldest girl. I don't know what we call her names on the film. Okay, good. So for Olivia is basically me as a girl. So I can talk to her kind of raw. So I'm gonna give it to her raw. That no, what I call it? What's the word? A bad word. But no, not him. Not him. Don't bring him home again. But why? Let me run you down the list of what I just picked up, and then being saved. Let me just go into discernment of the spirit. Let me break him down spiritually. This is all that's wrong with him. Layla, I gotta be a little bit more tactical with Layla. But honey, I don't think this is the right guy for you. I know you like him, but I just don't feel that he's not that dude, so maybe not him.
You're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy.
And then with Reese, I'm gonna talk to you and have you talk to Reese. Cause she scares me out.
Do you feel like you're a good example, like of the type of man you would want your daughter to date or marry?
Now, yes. I'm older. I'm stable-minded now. I've gotten over and delivered from those shortcomings from the past, so I can tell you both sides. This is who I was. I don't like him. You don't like him. This is who I am. I like him. He's doing better. He can do better. You all should like him. I'm cool with your mom. I'm stable in my marriage, and things are progressing in the right direction. This is what you want. Someone who can confess their faults, own their faults, own it.
How hard was it to you to be able to get to a point of being able to own that and can confess it?
It took years. Shakespeare said this above all to thy own self be true. You have to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, okay, this is the action. These are the actual factuals. That's an Ankisha actual factual. This is it. This is what it is. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Your grandmother said this one time, and it stuck. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. You have to get to a point where you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. When you're like, you know what, enough is enough. And too much is too much. And I have had enough. Because it's like this table, it's a circle. Until you're able to tell the truth, you're going to be born in a circle, going in a cycle. I've had a cycle of dating the same person. Different body, different name, different female, same person, same personality, same characteristics. Why? Because I was punishing myself because I didn't like me. So I thought these people were the best that I could do. So I was in the cycle until I was told the truth about what was going on. All these relationships failed not because of them. They failed because of me. Why did I almost take the relationship, the marriage I'm in, when we were in a relationship? Because I thought she was too good for me. And I was like, I'm going to get out the relationship before she can leave me. And it was like, you know what? at some point, I had to, in that house, on that street, I had to say, hey, what am I doing and why am I doing this? All she wants to do is love me.
Mm-hmm.
All she wants to do is be a part of my life. Why am I pushing her away?
Mm-hmm.
And once you ask yourself that question, why am I doing this? The problem's me. I'm the whole problem. And you sit down and you can, Bible talks about confess your faults. You confess your faults. Especially through prayer. Lord, it's me. This is not nobody else than me. All the stuff I'm going through, all the stuff I've done, is because of the deficiency is in me. So I need you to help me to heal. I need you to work on me. And I'm willing to allow you to work, which means anything you take out of my hands, I accept. Anything you put in my hands, I accept. Any truth you bring me, no matter how ugly, I accept. And anything beautiful but is evil, and you want to take it away, I accept.
Take us to the day that you knew to marry your wife.
I was at work, and I was in a little parking lot, and we had gotten into a little argument on the phone. So I walked out, I was working at a dealership, so I walked out in the parking lot, and I was mumbling and fussing under my breath. And the Lord spoke to me and said, you're not going to leave us, so shut up. So at that moment, I was like, okay, you're right. I'm going to marry her. Because, that for me, that was a clarion call. But then also the Lord said, this is the woman I've chosen for you. This is my choice for you. And so hearing him speak twice, that's when it was like, okay, if this is the Lord's choice, then I'm going to submit. When I first met her, I couldn't even talk to her. I stuttered badly. Badly, because I couldn't talk to her. And then getting to know her, and I felt like, okay, she's here and I'm here. Mm-hmm. And I can't even, matter of fact, the pictures that I took on our very first date was just to have proof that we were going to date, because I thought that was going to be one and done. Honestly, I didn't think she was going to go out with me. I was like, you seen your stepmother, you've seen her. Look at me, look at her, come on. Come on now, it's like, that doesn't make sense. Every time we go somewhere, they think I'm just her butler or something, Why y'all together? But, no, I'm just playing. But it's like, to look at us, we don't match. But spiritually, emotionally, mentally, she's everything I needed to get out of the funk that I was in. Because there are certain things about me that I didn't like, that she was like, nope, you can't be that way and be with me. You can't talk about yourself that way and be with me. You can't stay where you are and be with me. So you got to make a choice. What you going to do? I'm going to fix it. Oh, good choice.
Oh, good choice.
Yeah, but in the reverse, same thing is true about her. There's certain things about her I was like, you can't be with me and be that way. You can't be with me and think that way or feel that way. I'm me, and you're not going to treat me like your mother treats your father, your sister treats your brother-in-law, or how how other exes treated you. If I say that there's an issue and I want to talk to you about it, don't go to the left. We're talking about this. Don't try to rope other stuff into it. Well, maybe what you're thinking about, no, I'm not. If I have an issue, I'm telling you what the issue is. This is the issue, this is what we're talking about. And it has nothing to do with nothing else but this. But we've helped one another. We've shaped one another. We've helped each other grow.
Okay, would you say like there were any red flags about her?
Other than the fact that I couldn't talk to her. No.
So like throughout dating her and stuff like that, and no red flags occurred, it's just been like she's a perfect woman.
I'm not gonna say perfect, because like I said, it was a work in progress. But there was nothing that said danger will rock. Actually, now that I think about it, it was one incident that we had that had to be addressed because we got together. She didn't necessarily want to be involved with your brother because she just really wanted it to be us. And so I called her on it. I was like, listen, if you want us to be in a relationship, it's a package deal. It's all of my children. You're not going to treat one way and the others one other way. We're going to, if you can't accept him, then we can't be together. We can be friends.
We can't be together.
But we can't be together.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, and she didn't like that because she was going to break up with me that day, but I got to it first, so they made her stay.
All right, so how were you able to overlook those red flags?
She's good for me.
So
overall, after we had a little disagreement about Darius, and she decided, you know what, this is what she wanted. Overall, she's good for me. She's not like anybody else that I've been with, The first real productive relationship I have had since divorcing your mother.
What are some of the qualities you love about your wife?
She's not weak-minded. I've been in relationships with some very weak-minded women. I've been in a relationship.
What do you mean by that?
Certain woman that with the first night, he was actually able to win a race against me.
I don't like that you word that in that manner.
But only so that you know who we're talking about, Cheated on me like 2 to 3 times. And of course I stayed because I was in a bad place, that they had to do anything better. But that person cheated and I stayed. And they cheated because they were weak-minded,
Elaborate.
One person was an ex-boyfriend that called her on her birthday and convinced her to come to his house.
cool.
Right. And then this person ended up, because she was convinced by her girl she called her friend and her sister, to now be married to a guy that was married to a girl she used to call her best friend. So that's weak-minded. You're trying to please everybody else instead of doing the right thing. Your stepmother is going to do the right thing, and she's going to have big issues if I don't, or if other people don't. She's going to do what's right no matter what. Again, she makes me better.
What are some mistakes you made in marriage?
Oh my God, where do I start? We'll be here all night if we talk about that.
Well, what are the 3 biggest ones, and how did you learn from them?
Stepping out of my marriage is horrible. Not being easily forgiving. This is another thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just gotta laugh stuff off. And also being listless, meaning, remember I said you have to have a direction, not having a direction, not having a focus.
For yourself or for the relationship?
Both. They're one and the same, basically. One night, I was married to your mother, and just before you were born, we were laying in the bed on a Friday. I got paid. I cashed my check, I took my tithes out, put in the tithe envelope, put in my top drawer. And as I was going to sleep, the Lord said, did you pay your tithes? I said, yes. He asked that question 8 times. And on the 8th time, he said, ask your wife. And so I pushed her, hey, did you pay your tithes? And she said, no. I said, pay your tithes. The Lord over here is asking me if I ain't paid my tithes and you ain't paid yours, pay your tithes. But I had to pray. I said, Lord, why did you ask me if I paid my tithes, but you didn't just tell me that my wife didn't pay her tithes? He said, you're the man, you're the head, you're the leader. Anything that happens in your marriage, I'm not going to question your wife about it. I'm coming to you. So I didn't have direction because I was selfish. I was looking out for me, for my little wants and desires. I wasn't looking out for my family. And here's what I'm doing differently this time than that time. Anytime you start looking at yourself and saying, what about me? How come you're not doing this for me? You're in trouble. Because it's not about you. It's about your spouse.
Okay, I need you to elaborate on what you mean.
If you're in the 20s shall become one flesh. So that's a making process. It's my job to lead, and it's my job to cultivate my wife. Subsequently, it's her job to help me, because she's the helpmeet, and it's her job to help build and boost me up. Everything I do is what's in the best interest of the team, not what's in the best interest of Robby, but what's in the best interest of the team. What's in the best interest of Tana and my kids. And the order of things is God, my wife, my children, everybody, and everything else. If I don't have a direction, then I can't lead her, and we get stuck. Most women who are wives, and that's a difference. There's a difference between a wife and a woman who gets married and becomes a wife. A wife is a woman of integrity who's favored eternally. W-I-F-E, woman of integrity, favored eternally. She has integrity. She has integrity. And a woman of integrity wants a man who's a leader. Because tell me where we're going and how we're going to get there. Or tell me what the vision is and I'll help you get there. But you have to be a husband. You have to be a man who protects and surround. A house band, HU house band. You're the husband, the unit, the band leader. I'm directing us in the way that we should go. Follow me as I follow Christ. We're going in this direction. But her, she'll never be able to follow if you don't lead. She'll never be able to protect. And to answer your question, if I'm looking at me and saying, what about me? How come you're not doing this for me? We're in trouble. Because that means I'm entering into being selfish.
Okay.
A husband has to be selfless, not selfish.
Do you think there's times though where it's okay to be selfish, or that it'd be, if as a husband, if for some times or some things that you're being selfish, like would that be the cause of the end of your relationship?
But it's not. If you're a husband, a true husband, you're never selfish. But if you're a true wife, you'll never let your husband get to the point where he feel like he needs to be selfish. Because remember, she is taking care of you.
Yeah.
Honey, you need a minute. Take a minute. Take a beat. Honey, I see you're stressed out. Do you need to take a ride in the car? Because that's my thing. I de-stress when I'm driving. You need to take a drive? Go ahead and take a drive. I got this. You know what, honey? You cook dinner, I'm going to clean the kitchen. You know what, honey? I recognize that you needed socks or underwear. I got that for you. I recognize that your favorite cologne is low. I got that for you. Yeah. There are certain things that she do that I don't even have to worry about. And I don't say I take it for granted, but we're a team. Because there are certain things that I do she don't have to worry about. When she goes to the car in the morning, it's already started. It's already warm. She doesn't know when the car needs to get gas. I monitor that. She doesn't know about the credit card bills getting paid. That's in my wheelhouse. But there are certain things that's in her wheelhouse that she's really, really good at. So I'm not gonna worry about it because that's in her wheelhouse. Subsequently, I stay out of her wheelhouse and she stays out of my wheelhouse. And these are things that are detrimental because there are three things to make or break any marriage: sex, communication, and money.
Sex, communication.
Can you elaborate on the
Sex is not just intercourse, it's intimacy.
Yep.
So it's intimacy, money, communication. For most women, the first on their list is communication.
Mm-hmm.
You got to talk. Money is not just how many dollars in your pocket. Money equals security.
Mm-hmm.
Because don't think you're getting sexy time and you got a turn off notice. Don't think you're getting sexy time and you're 2 months behind on the car payment and you got trying to hide it from the repo man. Money equals security for a woman. So if you can communicate and you can provide security, she'll give you all the intimacy that you want. For most men, it's intimacy. We want intimacy. But it's intimacy and communication, and money vacillate depending on who it is. But for most of us, that's why we're able to look at a woman and be like, hey, how you doing? You know, she look good, you know, but for most women, it's like, okay, and I don't even blame women these days to talk about how much money you got in your pocket. Because again, they're jaded a little bit because they don't understand the concept. Money equals security. So they want to know, can you protect me if something comes up? Not can you just fight, but I don't want to have to worry about if we're about to be put out. I don't want to have to worry about the oil change or the tire rotation. I don't want to have to worry about certain things, and she shouldn't have to. Because as the man, as the husband, as the head, that's in your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
But then again, it does change some because I'm a very good cook. I'm not saying my wife don't cook or can't cook, but she can't cook as good as me, so I cook. So she cleans. But if it was the other way around and she cooked all the time, I would take up the slack and clean because that's hand in glove. That's covering one another. That's that intimacy. Into me, see. See into me. And see what I need. That's gonna make me say, I feel validated. And I feel loved. And I feel accepted. Into me, see. Intimacy.
Much so. Okay. Now going back towards the marriage questions, like, how would you handle another man threatening your marriage?
I don't have to worry about that.
Love the confidence on it.
I handle my business. I take care of home. Her heart safely trusted me, and I made sure that she has everything that she needs. No other man has no entry point because I do communicate in her language. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. We live here on Earth. I speak very good Venusian. Very, very good Venusian. I know what her love language is, so I cater to her. I know what her fears are, so I kill those dragons while they're little things. The Bible talks about small foxes. It says small foxes destroy the vine. Little things can destroy a beautiful thing. I kill all that quick. And there have been men that have approached her, but she loves me and I take care of home. So no one has a shot.
Okay.
Period.
How would you feel if your wife and your children didn't get along?
That's a no-go for me. That's an absolute no-go for me. Y'all gotta get along. Because at the end of the day, y'all are my children. Nothing will change that. But that's my wife. And nothing's gonna change that. I'm not gonna leave her because y'all don't like her, because then I'll be alone. I'm gonna base my relationship on if my children like them or not. All y'all in y'all 20s, where y'all at? Right. So I have to, she's there for me. She's there to cover me. But there's no room that y'all can't get along. And
is that now because we're adults? Or is that the same as when we were kids as well?
Same as when y'all was kids. Hence why when I was dating back then, every single person I dated that y'all was gonna be around, they had a conversation with y'all mother. I made sure of it. I set it up. You need to talk to my ex-wife. Why? Because you're gonna be around her children. These are her children. And here's another thing you need to understand. That's my ex-wife, she's the mother of my children. Nothing you say is gonna come between me and my ex-wife because I'm co-parenting with her in my children's life, and I'm an active father. I wasn't the best that I could have been, but I was trying to be there as much as I could, and not as nearly as enough as I wanted to be. But in no way, shape, or form was I going to let any woman come between my relationship with you. And if she thought she could try it, bye.
Do you feel like your daughters should value your opinion over their husband's?
Yes or no?
Okay, elaborate.
When I walk my daughters down the aisle and I give them to that man, that is now, I am now your extended family. I'm no longer your immediate family. He is now your immediate family. And remember, the twain shall become one flesh. So basically, y'all about to be the same, y'all gonna be two different sides of the same coin. How dare you put me above your husband? Don't you dare do that. That's your husband. That's who you made a vow to God with. And the twain shall become one. If you look in the Bible, there's a scripture that talks about father against mother. No, father against son, daughter against mother, and then it goes down that, but never does it say that there should be a separate, that the father and the mother would be against one another. Because he's there for Christ's sake, it's going to split households, but never does the father and the mother split, because when God sees marriage, he only sees one person. He doesn't see two. He doesn't see a separation. So when my daughters get married, that's one person. I might not like certain things that he might say, and I might have to pull him up, like, yo, that's still my daughter. I know that's your wife, but that's my daughter. And I won't have to break you down like a shotgun. Don't play with me. I'm saved, sanctified, and all that, but that's my daughter, and I'm gonna lose all my religion for about 10 minutes. So, so don't play. But at the end of the day, I'm not gonna meddle in their marriage, because at the end of the day, that's your husband. And when I'm long gone, y'all still on the scene together.
How do you make a woman happy?
It depends on the woman.
Okay.
What's her love language?
Oh, so love language is real.
Oh yeah. What's her love language? What is she like? And are you able to provide that? And oh my God, that goes into so much stuff. That goes into so much. Because don't have a $50 pallet on a $10 pocket. You have to adjust accordingly. Your stepmother, she's fashion queen. Shopping is her love language. So I give her the things that she needs in order for her to be loved. Communication is her love language. I have no choice. There's certain things I have to communicate. Little addendum to that sidebar. You can't tell a woman everything.
Facts. I believe that.
Woo, you gonna get us canceled?
Already.
All for real.
I believe that, though.
Woo, but elaborate though.
It's selective information. I made that mistake in this marriage where she said, I want you to be honest and talk to me. So I said, okay, fine. So I opened up the floodgates, and she couldn't handle it because it was too much. And again, certain things would spin her out. So I had to be very selective in the information that I put out to her. It's almost like.
So is it what you're saying or how you're saying it?
Both.
Because I want, when people are looking at this, they're going to try to take this and be like, oh, well, I don't got to tell you everything, or you can't. But like when you're being strategic about this, like, are you saying that I'm going to give you this information, but I can't just say it? Like I seen a dude. He said, when I'm talking to my wife, I say the third thing that comes to my head.
I seen that.
Like, are you saying like that, or are you saying there's certain things that you just can't even cover at all?
There's certain things you can't say. One of my exes reached out to me. I didn't tell your stepmother right away. I handled the situation. I checked the person. I made sure everything was in order. And then I circled back around maybe a week later and told her.
Okay.
I couldn't tell her the same day because, and even after I handled the situation, I answered her questions before she asked them. I said, I don't know. I'm not sure. But it's handled. How'd she get your number? I don't know. What does she want? I'm not sure because I didn't have that conversation and I blocked her. It's handled. Well, what did you think she wanted? I don't know. I'm not sure. I wasn't curious enough to find out. Well, why didn't you tell me? Because if it would come out later that this happened and I didn't tell you, there would be hell to pay. I'm getting ahead of it by telling you. Why did you tell me what happened? Because I need to make sure I have all the ducks in a row.
Okay.
But there are certain things, again.
What would you say for somebody starting at you off and said that's being sneaky or secretive?
It is being secretive, but it's not being sneaky.
Okay.
Again, deal with your wife according to knowledge. I know who I'm married to. I know what's going to set her off. I know that if I have certain conversations about certain things that run through my head, we're going to be talking about this for 2 months, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to give you enough that you're okay, that you know that we're okay, and that's it.
So, do you believe in the saying, happy wife, happy life?
No.
Please elaborate.
No, because it's not just about her.
Okay.
Because what if she's happy and I'm miserable? Then again, yeah, if I'm miserable, then that's not a happy life. If I'm not pleased with something, then I'm lying. If I keep my mouth closed so that you're okay, that you're happy, you're fine with it, everything, but I'm miserable or we're about to go bankrupt, heck no. Because now I'm stressed out and you trying to figure out why I'm stressed out. Or you thinking that it's something that it's not. No, it has to be a happy couple. But you have to, again, go back to communication. You gotta have that open, honest communication, because there have been times, even with your stepmother, I told her, no, you can't buy that bag, that shoe, that shirt, that blouse. No, not right now. But it only costs $5 or it only costs $100. No, not right now, because there are other things that we need to consider. We have a budget. We run this marriage like a business now. I'm not trying to get put out or repossessed or have credit card companies, looking for me or bill collectors. That's no way to live. No. But you have to have those conversations so that it's happy couple, good life.
Okay, now, just a side question. Do you believe that a marriage will go on longer if it's the wife that is happy and the man that's miserable versus the other way around?
No, neither one should be miserable. But biblically, who told you that you're supposed to be happy?
Like, what you mean?
In a marriage, who told you that you're supposed to be happy?
Society, Disney, Hallmark.
That's not true. You're not going to be happy all the time. But you have to manage it. You have to manage your disappointment. It's all about management. It's like, okay, it's about love more so than happiness. Because I could love you and not like you in the same moment.
That's facts.
I could love you and be ticked off at the same moment.
So talk about love for a second. Like what? Because we Disney and Hallmark, maybe making it like love is I know everything, and I'm bringing you the flowers as soon as you're mad. But I would say that love is a choice, and it's not. Yeah, I don't know. But it's a choice. I choose to be here. You know,
Love is an action word.
Yeah.
I made a commitment that I'm going to do these things, whether I like you at the moment or not. Like, there have been moments I didn't like your stepmother. I still started the car in the morning. I still carried her bags out. I still made sure that she was good. I still made sure I handled my business and my responsibilities, even with the pillow fort in the middle of the bed. But I choose to come home and have this disagreement with you. I choose, because I made a vow that no matter what, I'm going to love you, even when you piss me off, even when we're not vibing at the moment. But who said we're supposed to vibe all the time?
That's facts.
Sometimes it takes us to have a disagreement for me to go back and self-reflect and be like, you know what, she was right. Or he was right. Or, you know what, I could have said that differently. Or, you know what, I shouldn't have said that at all. But it takes those moments so that you can grow.
For sure.
Plants grow in what?
Soil.
Soil. What's another word for soil?
Dirt.
Dirt. So when it's dirty, that's when you grow in dirt.
Okay, I like that. You know, I like that analogy.
What are the key components needed for a successful marriage?
God. I'm sorry, a strand of 3 chords is hard to be broken. God is one. A husband, not a man that got married just because he's tired of fooling around. A husband who's committed, who is focused, who loves God, who's going to love his wife unequivocally. And y'all know what a wife is. Y'all remember that the acronym? A woman of integrity who's favored eternally. Those are 3 things. But also love, faith, commitment. Love is an action word. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, and the evidence of things not seen. I'm hoping for it. I don't see how I'm going to get there, but I believe. And then commitment. That's the biggest thing. You got to be committed. If you're not committed, if y'all both not 100% in, there's no such thing as 50-50. Because if you're giving 50 and she's giving 50, there's a whole 100 that's missing.
Yep.
It's 100. But also it could change to I'm giving 195% and she's only giving 5%. It could be that she's giving 150% and I'm only giving 50. But it doesn't change. It doesn't stay that way. It changes. I'm going to give you my everything to my last breath. But I expect everything from you. The good, the bad, the ugly. If you don't like me, you can tell me that. If my breath stink, you can tell me that. If I made you mad, tell me that. Women, with the camera right there. We are not mind readers. You gotta talk. Open your mouth and talk. You gotta talk. You gotta talk. For sure. Men, talk. I'm gonna say this. It's all the same.
What do you mean?
It. It's all the same. White, black, tall, short, fat, skinny. After about 25, 30, you're gonna do your thing no matter what. It's all gonna make you do the same thing. So if it's all the same, no matter what woman you're with, it is all the same. The activity is the same. Then once you take sex and of course out of the equation, what's left?
Intimacy. Or at least I believe, a different type of intimacy.
What happens if she can't? What happens if something happened where she can't perform? Do you lose interest in the marriage or the relationship?
I believe it's man to man on that answer. You know, if something's going on, you can't get that part of it. But I personally, only for me, I feel like I'm gonna try to deal with it in whatever way possible that we can for as long as I can. But if we boil it down to like it just can't happen, you know, don't know. I ain't gonna lie. I probably end up being miserable at some point in time.
Or are you miserable because you can't have the physical activity?
Probably, yeah. I ain't gonna lie.
Being older, I can tell you, and again, at the end of the day, some of the most intimate moments I've had is us talking, pillow talk. If I need a hug, and my wife's touch. Matter of fact, it's happened where my pressure has been up, and her holding me brought my pressure down. I'm stressed out, and her putting her hand on my head and kissing me on the cheek de-stressed me. It de-stressed, not distressed, but it de-stressed. It just brought my stress level down. Because again, it is, you said it, it's intimacy. Intimacy is greater than sex. But as young men, and being a former young man, your testosterone level is up here and you're focused on that. But as the older you get, you start realizing, again, it's all the same. And at the end of the day, after that activity, your grandmother said this, you gotta live outside the bedroom, you gotta live in the hallway together, you gotta live in the living room together, you gotta live in the kitchen together, you gotta live in the dining room together, you gotta live in the car together, you gotta live in the supermarket together. You know, everywhere you go, you have to be together, even if they're not there.
I think for me at this point in my life, which I'm not even that old, I'm only 24, I'm probably 25 when this comes out, but like, you're not getting me wrong. You feel me? What's understood I'm gonna be said, but for me to even get to that point, the woman that I want, like, it's way more than that. Like you were saying, like, just talking to you just makes my day. Like being able to joke with you in a certain way. A simple hug is enough for me to just melt in a way. You know what I mean? And it's like that's kind of what I crave more. Like a couple years ago, I went through a breakup, and like my father once was, I was bored. You know, but that experience, it was a couple months where I did that, and that right there showed me that this is not what I want. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that I don't enjoy intercourse. What I'm saying is, though, this is not the life that I'm trying to, like, I don't want to do this, like, going through between different women and not really having a genuine connection with somebody that, like you're mine. And, like, and in reverse, I'm yours. And, like, it's nothing more special than that for me. I feel like you agree with your relationship. Like, I can tell you are not the same person when you are around her than when you're not. Just relax. Nah, for real. And we talked about that. It's like man, you know, I won't air your business out, but like the simplest thing I say is just like you were just like that. That's how I knew that, like, that relationship that you're in is different. Like, you are, you know, for real. Like, you are your mindset is just different. The way that you carry yourself around, like, man, look, y'all gonna start to find out, man. DNS Soldier don't smile too much. he been laughing here because he's with us, but if you see him in the street, he's angry. No, he's not angry. He just looks angry. But when he's around,
black man in America. That's what
I understand. But when he's around her, man, that's a dandelion.
Whoa.
No, but the thing is, it's she completes your circle.
Yeah, I would say she does. I ain't gonna lie, it took us a lot of work to get there, but
relationships are work, man.
Hey, bro, I ain't gonna lie. The Lord put me through it. I ain't gonna lie, bro, because I had to really, you know, ask for the strength. You know, I had to really ask for the strength and the patience to deal with certain things. You know, especially things that I was not used to dealing with. You know what I mean? Like, another thing, I wasn't a very intimate person. Like, growing up in our household, we didn't tell each other I love you that much. You know, like, if anything, I got intimacy from my friends. Like, you know, I really bang with you, bro. Like, you know, you cool. Like, with other people. So it also affected stuff in the relationship at first, especially because she's the type of person, like, she needs to hear that. You know what I mean? Like, even to this day, bro, I still struggle and try to, like, tell her the thoughts, because I think them, but I just don't express them. You know what I mean? Like,
what would you advise for him with that?
Do you want to keep her?
oh yeah, most definitely.
With the adjustment?
I try. Ain't gonna lie.
I mean, it's going to take time.
Yeah.
How long y'all been together?
She was gonna be 3 years this year.
Oh, it's still early.
Yeah.
Make the adjustment, because again, if that's her love language, does she give you your love language?
Honestly, I'll say 50-50, because personally, I still don't fully know what my love language would be. You know, for me to sit down and tell her everything that I need from her. Like, I can't do that yet.
But you're not, and you're never going to. What's going to happen is, if she's the one, don't get married till you're 30, but if she's the one, there's certain things that she's going to know about you, that she's going to be able to anticipate, that you're not even going to know that you need it. And that's a scary moment. It's a terrifying moment when you realize that this person knows you better than you know you, or as good first as you know you, and then better. Like, I didn't even know I needed that. Your stepmother and your mother before her. Certain things that they did, I didn't even know. I didn't know. Your mother, going all the way back, there was a point in time that she didn't work, she stayed home. I didn't even know when I got paid, because she ran the house, and the house just ran better with her home. As long as she gave me my allowance, I was happy, because, you know, it just ran better that way. That was then. She knew things about me, you know, that I didn't know. It took me to mature to get to this marriage, and then your stepmother took me out of what I call this dog mode, just surviving. I was just trying to survive. She got me out of survival mode into thriving mode, and she said certain things or done certain things. I was like, you really think you know me? She said, yeah, I do.
You really think you know?
Yeah, I do. You know I do. Go sit down somewhere. And you know me, I can be a little snarky, and it took time for me and her to be able to banter back and forth. But I need that. I need the smart comments. I need to banter. That's part of my love language. Because if I can't say some little off the wall stuff to you, then if I don't say something off the wall to you, I don't like you.
I feel it.
I'm not. You're just somebody I tolerate. But when I joke with you and I'm curt with you, you know I really like you. I'm gonna say some stuff to you. You was like, he said that. Yes, I did, because I like you. I treat you like a son, you know, because, you know, that's what I look at you as. And that's why I'm able to say certain things to you, and you'd be like, and you're not offended, you know. And we've definitely bantered back and forth, father and son, you know. But then your stepmother, same thing. I was waiting to get to that level where I could banter with her and her not be sensitive. With your girlfriend, if she once y'all get to that level, that y'all can say little off the wall stuff, if that's y'all love language, and it'd be okay, then it should be okay. But if she needs to hear I love you, flood her with it until she says, okay, stop.
It's not even in a sense like being, I could say I love you, you know? And it's actually crazy, because she's probably the fastest girl I've ever said I love you to. It's more like okay, so, you know, she walked past looking all good and stuff, and in my head, I'm like, damn, you know, good God. But I don't say it out loud. So in her head, it's like, I'm not giving her that validation that she's looking for, in the sense of, like, those things.
Why are you pinned up?
Honestly, I don't know. I can't even lie to you, bro.
Do you feel uncomfortable?
He said it. That's not something he did when he was younger.
It's not, if you saying that when you're younger, something's wrong.
No, but like he didn't.
You never had that example.
Yeah,
when you
you
was
know,
younger.
like, nah, like, when it came, like, to everything that I know about, it's either, like, something I've seen on TV or I heard the conversation, but, like, the whole doing that stuff, like, you know, damn, babe, you look good today. Like, I try now, you know what I mean? I try to express it more, but especially because the type of person I was before I hopped in a relationship, there was no need for none of that.
It'll open up your relationship.
Yeah.
It'll take it to the next level.
That's something. Sorry, that's something I did in my last relationship. Like, I had the same issue because literally the same thing. I would think it, and she's like, "You didn't tell me." She started telling me, "You didn't tell me how beautiful the last couple of days." I'm like, dang. But I definitely thought it about 17 times. I'm thinking it right now. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, I wouldn't say anything. No, but your stepmother, I'll just be looking at her. She'd be like, "What? Like, you're pretty. You're just so pretty. I like you." But then that's me being silly but serious at the same time. Like, how you doing? You're good? Yeah, I love you. Good.
Or even like in the beginning of our relationship, like it happened pretty quick, honestly. Like when she was introduced to me, I seen her vibe. I was like, she's someone who I can like have in the palm of my hand. Like it didn't really take much flirtation or like I just had to show her I was a real person. You know what I mean? Like I'm him. Like just tell her a couple things. This, that, and the fourth. This how I roll. This how I operate. We was on track. But then going down the line, you know, problems came out. Like, you don't ever say this or you don't say this. And I'm like,
do you love her?
oh yeah, I love her for sure.
You want to keep her?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Say it.
I try now. Like you know, I'm doing a lot better now than I was like first year in stuff like that. But it's still to this day, it's still hard for me to fully do it how I would like to. You know what I mean? Or how she deserves it.
You'll get there. I mean, don't force it so that it's phony, but yeah, you'll definitely get there. It takes time.
Okay, how do you believe men should treat their significant others?
Treat her like you want to be treated. It's simple. Treat her how you want to be treated. Respect her how you want to be respected. And this is where I had to grow up at. How would I feel if she did what I was doing? Don't think I liked it very much. Don't like getting cheated on. Doesn't feel good. Don't like pulling my heart out and then not being reciprocated. That don't feel good either. You know what? I'm not gonna do that anymore because I don't like it. One, I don't like the way it made me feel. I don't like the way I wouldn't want it to happen to me. And I don't like lying. And I don't like feeling like just a piece of trash. So if I don't want to be seen as a piece of trash, I don't want to be seen as someone who lacks, moral fiber, then let me just start acting with character and treat her how I want to be treated. And if you put it out, it'll come back.
No, I think of like that a lot, but not even just in a relationship. Like it could be something that I'm doing to Robby, you know what I mean? Like, or that I felt like I did. Like that was just a rule of thumb, you know. Treat others how you want to be treated. That's one lesson my mom made sure that I had drilled in my head.
But most guys don't do that though.
That is true.
She's an object. She's a notch in my belt. She's just a filly in my stable. She just, one of my little chicks. But how long you gonna live like that?
That's right.
Say that. Who should you allow to know intimate details about your relationship?
That's a good one.
The person I'm in a relationship with.
So, like, if you're arguing, you don't have, let's say you get into an argument or disagreement, you don't go to somebody about it or kind of see a different perspective, you keep everything.
No, I have my best friend and his wife, but even them, I redact some of the information. I give them enough that they can counsel me.
What's enough? Like, what's enough? What's enough and what would be too much?
Depends on the situation. Like sex, no one told me we do. I don't talk about nobody that. No one outside of our relationship about that. But if we're having certain issues in the relationship, I say enough that I don't make her look bad.
Mm-hmm.
I do my best to try to tell the whole story. Excuse me. I'm trying to tell the whole story. I tell my part as well as enough of her part in order to get help. But I'm never going to put her on Front Street because at the end of the day, I'm not leaving. And she's not leaving. And these are still my friends. And I don't want my friends to see my wife in a bad light.
So, what's the difference between a boyfriend's role and a husband's role? And should a boyfriend have husband qualities?
Yes, a boyfriend should have husband qualities, but he should not get husband benefits.
Okay. Picking up what you're putting down.
I'm not anymore.
Okay, a boyfriend is, let's use an old word, you're courting.
Mm-hmm.
This is the old song, getting to know you, getting to know all about you. This is the exploratory mission. Do I like you? Can we vibe? Do we have enough in common to go to the next level? I think anybody that's in a relationship should be thinking about the next step, which is marriage. Because it's not a lot out here. Yes, there are some attractive women out here. But again, at the end of the day, it's all the same. So the question is, once you get past the physical pulchritude of the female, do you have to deal with substance? I'm trying to get past the, oh my God, you're so pretty. Now let's look under the hood and see what you're working with. And I'm not talking about in between your legs. What's your character like? What are your hopes and your dreams like? Are you messy? What else is there that I can connect with? Red flags, y'all said it earlier. Are there any red flags in here? We worked in the car industry. I need to see check engine lights. I need an OBD reader so I can check the code to see what's going on up in here. Because, up in here. I need to see what's going on up in here. Because once we get past the fact that you're pretty, and once we get past the fact that you've been to Planet Fitness a few times and you're built, are you stupid? Do you lack moral fiber? Are you narcissistic? Do you have any character? Are you easy? Because if you're too easy, then I'm a little scared. Because how many other people done fill up the tank? I'm surprised I didn't even jump on that. I moved that right down the lane for y'all.
It's gonna keep on rolling.
It's gonna keep on. It
So,
depends.
how do you feel about going 50-50 with your wife?
What?
Like,
Financially.
Yeah. We don't do that. It's all in one pot. It's no such thing as 50-50.
so like, elaborate a little bit more. Like, what you mean is all in one pot?
My money's her money my money. And at the end of the day, the bills have got to be paid because we live here. Not here, but we live where we live.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not, okay, I take care of the rent and the BG&E, and you take care of the car payment and car insurance. No. I ride in a car too, so I help pay for it. We both live where we live, so we both help pay for it. Sometimes it's a reallocation of funds. We have our budget meetings, and we sit down and say, okay, this is how much we got coming in. This is all the bills that we have collectively, credit cards, utilities, car, mortgage, this is what we have. This is what we need to take care of, and this is what we're going to be left over with. You have your budget or your amounts of what's yours. I have my amounts of what's mine, and we have our savings because just in case something comes up. We have, like I said, we run our house like a business. So there's no such thing as 50-50. It's one pot.
Okay.
That answered the question I had. I think you kind of answered this question, but you just touched on it a little bit. Like, do you feel like the moneymaker wears the pants in a relationship?
No. Absolutely not. Because again, we're one. And it's what's in the best interest of the team. Not it's my way because I make the money, so what? What if she leaves? What if he leaves? Then what? Because, and I'm not talking about the person, the moneymaker leaves. I'm talking about the other person leaves because you're so overbearing. Then what? So now you're king of poo-poo hill by yourself. What do you call a leader with no followers? A man taking a walk.
That's funny. We got some good clips.
Excuse me. When would you say it's the right time for people to get married? Like age, financial status?
30.
Why 30 though?
Okay. From 18 to about 22, 23, you're in college, right? Or trade school. In your 20s, because your brain don't stop developing until 25. So you're not even mature enough to get married any earlier. That's why most of those jump branches fail. But you are exploring, you're building your career, you're exploring life, you're getting to know yourself. I would say this, travel in your 20s. Like we're in Maryland now, go to California, live in Texas for a year, go to Africa, go to Egypt, go to London, get your passport, get out of the United States, go somewhere, do something, have your life experience in your 20s because you're young enough to make mistakes and rebound and recover, and you still got your parents there to help cover you while you're making your mistakes and you're growing up. Once you get 30, at least for me, it was like a paradigm shift. It was like we were sitting in a dark room, somebody flipped the light on, I was like, holy crap. Once you hit 30 and you've lived a little bit, you should be mature enough to move on to the next stage of life. Settle down, get married, have children, really build up your career and everything. Still be young enough to play with your kids. Because let's say, cause I'm 40, I'll be 48 tomorrow, and my youngest child is 11 years old.
Happy early birthday, just want to say.
Thank you. But 11-year-old at 48, really? I am a totally different father now at 48 than I was when I was 34, when you were 11. Totally different father, totally different person because of my life, the life changes. But when you're 30 and you lived in your 20s and you've traveled in your 20s and you've had those experiences in your 20s, you got your play out of you. And you're able now to really settle down to the next stage of life.
Okay.
What would you say to the people that say that marriage is only a piece of paper or a business decision?
You're half right. You say it's on a piece of paper, you're a fool, you're an idiot. It's more than that. Biblically, again, I said it many times in this interview, and the twain shall become one flesh. It's a making process. The day before I got the divorce papers from your mother, I cried that whole day before. I didn't know why. I was upset and I was crying. And then I got the paperwork. And as soon as I read it, I heard an announcement in my spirit, and the twain are no longer one flesh. And it was as if something got ripped. Like paper being ripped in half. It was like something got ripped out of me. When you get married, it's a merging of your souls. It's a merging of your spirits. You are becoming one person. And it's very intimate. The Bible talks about the Ark of the Covenant. And it was made out of shittim wood and gold. And they had to beat molten gold into the shittim wood in order to make the Ark of the Covenant. That's marriage. It's wood and gold being beat together as one. You're becoming one person. That's why people can live together for years, and when they get married, they have issues because you're just living together. But that making process starts when you make that commitment, when you stand before God and say, Lord, I'm gonna walk in covenant relationship. Once you start walking in covenant relationship, things start changing on a spiritual level. On a spiritual level, things start changing. So it's not just a piece of paper. There are some benefits in the United States of being married, taxes and all that kind of stuff. But this is deeper than that. It's more intimate than that. It's more, I won't say mystical, it's more spiritual than that. So yeah, it's very important.
Okay. Do you believe it's okay for us as Christians to be married more than once?
Obviously. Obviously. But again, I would have possibly never gotten divorced if I had the knowledge now that I had back then. Like that vibration there, that's just that mother. I got a special ringtone and vibration on my phone. Whatever she's calling. Give me 1 second. Hey, honey. Yes, ma'am. I will give me 10 minutes. I'm gonna call you back. Let me call you back in 10 minutes, babe. 10 minutes. Go back to sleep. Okay, babe. I know. Let me go back in 10 minutes.
Put it in the intro.
And with these mics, you can definitely hear everything she said. It was picked up.
Yeah. Well, that's all the questions we
No,
have.
that's a lot. I do have a question I
Okay.
would like to know the answer to.
All right. Okay.
How would you react to what would you do finding out that your daughter's been in an abusive relationship?
I'm going to jail.
Talking about the politically correct answer to that.
That is the politically correct answer. You put your hands on my daughters, I'm going to jail. And it doesn't matter how much time has gone by. I got somebody now in my crosshairs that I'm thinking about. I want him bad. I want him real bad. I just haven't had the opportunity. But if I want him, you know what I'm talking about. I want him bad. But somebody put their hands on my daughters. You came to me and said, sir, please kill me. That's what you said. Or put me in the hospital. I want to go to the hospital. I need to go to the hospital. I will happily oblige you. Because those are my daughters.
I felt that. I don't even have daughters yet, bro. Trying to tell you.
And I'm had no daughters too, but I talk to other people. I was in a relationship, or I ain't gonna lie. I think even still to this day, if she called me and said that somebody put their hands on her,
We ride out.
oh yeah, we riding out. And then my sisters, my aunts, my mom, pretty much any woman in my life, honestly, like on that level.
You're stepping out.
I was very upset over the years that your mother didn't give me the same respect that I gave her. Because anybody I introduced you all to, I made sure that she talked to them. Mm-hmm. But she almost never did that to me in return. But when she did have me talk to the guys that she was dating, I told all of them the same thing. That's my ex-wife. We're not going to get back together. I'm no threat to your relationship. But if you hurt her, I'm going to hurt you. Because she's the mother of my children. And if you hurt her, in turn, you've hurt my children. So I, in turn, have to hurt you. I have to put my hands on you. So make sure you go, if you don't have our best interests at heart, you might want to leave. Because I'm going to do something to you. She lost a lot of relationships after that conversation. But that was me acting as your mother's friend. Not her husband, but I was being her friend. Because we are friends. And you all are our children. But at the end of the day, if you don't have her best interests at heart, you don't have their best interests at heart, and if she's crying and upset, that's going to hurt my children, so I got to hurt you.
For the logic, yeah. I understand it completely.
You got anything else, bro? Happy birthday tomorrow.
Yay!
And that's all from us from the Two Sides of the Heart podcast. Are you allowed to talk about your social media?
No, I'm not allowed to talk on my social media.
So we're not putting your social media in our
No social media.
Okay, well, if you want to talk to him again, we will definitely have him.
Actually, yes, you can.
Okay.
R.L. Thompson on Facebook, and was it Pastor R.L. Thompson, Pastor.R.L. Thompson on Instagram.
That's all from us.
I'm about to get beat up. That's all, folks.
That's all, folks.